Hello everyone, welcome to Object-Oriented Programming in Python. Today we are going to finish our quick course. We are going to discuss another interesting OOP feature. It is called polymorphism. Literally, that means many forms. So the same method on different object may act differently. So basically, when you inherit, you can not only add new methods to your new class, but you may also redefine, overwrite, replace something in the base class you're not satisfied with. So again, terminology is not always consistent. Sometimes we call them base and derived. Sometimes we call them parent-child. Sometimes we call those two classes superclass parent and subclass child. Anyway, I have a rectangle. You can see it. And I inherited rectangle, and what I noticed that I can in the previous lesson, what I noticed is when you inherit, you get everything from your child class, all the instance variables, all the methods, you can still use them. But of course, draw method was not 100% satisfactory because it didn't draw the fill of the rectangle. So what I'm going to do now in the filled rectangle class, I'm going to analyze or audit the methods from my parent in terms of what is still good, what is not good. So when I draw filled rectangle, the top part and the bottom part still the same because they do not use fill character. The only function which is not good for me as a derived class is draw middle. So that's why I create my own version of draw middle method. You see, it's similar to the parents version, but now it does the filling inside the rectangle. And that's enough. So basically, after my audit, I realized all the methods from my parent class still good. I override draw middle, so I replace it. And now I hope everything going to work nice. So let's take a look. I instantiate in line 4 filled rectangle, I draw it, then I shrink it and I draw it again. Let's take a look. And here we are. Yes, now I see the fill. All my rectangles, they use fill character, which is minus. So just with a few lines of code, I extended my base class. I fix it a little bit. I replaced one method, and now you see, despite of the fact I do not have in my filled rectangle class draw method, it's still working. It's still working fine because inside draw method, 3 other methods are called and one of them was replaced. So that's the idea of the polymorphism. If you have hierarchy of classes that inherit each other, Very often, by the way, we draw those classes related through inheritance as a tree. So if you have such a tree, many classes that inherit each other, you may redefine certain methods. You use the same names, the same parameters, but they work on different objects, on different instances of different classes differently. Let's take one more look. And what I did here is, look, I instantiated both rectangle. First, I draw it. Then I instantiated field rectangle, but I saved in the same variable the reference, the object address, and then I draw it again. So both lines 4 and 6 are identical, but they going to produce different results, because in line 4 R is a reference to rectangle. In line 6 R is a reference to field rectangle. So Python interpreter or runtime engine, based on the actual information, will call the right draw. So we have many draws, many forms of the same method. That's the polymorphism. So let's run it to prove. And yes, you see first time the regular rectangle was drawn just with the outline, but in the second case, the same line, the same code produced field rectangle. So today was the last lesson on object-oriented programming with the Python. I tried to make the course quick. If you grasp the OOP ideas with the Python, you can apply them to any other language. But still, next lesson, tomorrow lesson, I'm going to do recap, overview, and I'm going to show one more time all the coding, because I was basically working on the same test case, rectangles, boxes, field rectangles. So I'm going to recap tomorrow, and after that I'm going to start another course. It's called TK Inter. So it's very interesting to know how in real life you can apply OOP concepts. So in my new course, TK Inter, we are going to create real Windows applications, and we are going to apply those concepts. They may seem right now kind of abstract, theoretical, but we are going to see how they work in real life. Thank you very much. I appreciate your support, your likes, your comments, your subscriptions, and see you soon, guys. Take care.